So here we are looking at Two Children Are Threatened by a Nightingale by Max Ernst. And this painting, it is an oil/collage.
So Max Ernst was one of the founding members of Surrealism. And Surrealism, as we've kind of gone over, delves into the dreamlike, was very influenced by Freud and his psychoanalytical methods, and he worked to create paintings overflowing with specific metaphors, personal myths to himself, and memories from his childhood. That was kind of the three main things that he pulled from to be able to create these paintings. Max Ernst worked in various media, including collage, painting, sculpture, book arts, and drawing, and he also liked to incorporate frottage, rubbings, into his artworks, although we don't see any of those in this specific piece.
In this piece by Max Ernst, he uses both oil paints and collage props. The background is painted in oils for a blue sky, the green grass, and two female figures. He uses a small wooden gate, pieces of a toy house, and a blue doorknob as part of his collage.
The figures in the piece are painted with a very thick impasto in black and white, which is also called a grisaille.
The items that have been added to this piece feel very young and playful, as if they could be toys. But I feel like he's balanced that well by making the painting feel very classical. He's got the atmospheric perspective and linear perspective, and it just kind of feels a little more oldish and almost a little foggy and hazy back there. And so I feel like that kind of grounds the piece and making it seem a little bit more serious, but still having this lighthearted childhood connection with the other piece.
In it, you can see, off to one side, there's a little wooden gate. And it's interesting because you also see a doorknob on the other side, and, we don't know if they're entrances or exits into his little dream world.
The piece itself, I feel like looking at this, you can't help but thinking about Picasso's, I believe it's Still Life at a Cafe, where he started incorporating real objects into paintings. And I feel like that was kind of a beginning where we started seeing this, but he takes it to a whole new level here where they are really popping out of the painting. They're so much more 3D than the work of art itself, creating almost two worlds here, and the frame is where they meet.
I also find it super interesting how thick the paint is, and he uses this impasto technique to again bring it forward in space.
So what influenced this painting? It is said sometimes that the woman in the painting is dead, but also that maybe she has fainted. It's believed, though, that part of this inspiration was when his sister died, Maria, in 1897. Was a big impact upon his life.
Is this a representation of his two sisters, where one of them is living and one has passed, or is this a sort of timeline of her life as he's holding? We see the younger girl on top of the roof.
And we're not sure. We can see that the sister is trying to attack him with a knife, and I'm not sure why she wants to hurt him.
Two children threatened by a nightingale, but I personally feel like the girl herself is threatening the nightingale. So who's threatening who in this picture?
Yes.
He also contracted measles as a child and experienced hallucinations, or I guess they call them fever visions. Through this illness, he would stare at his headboard or maybe the foot of his bed into wood is generally what we know. And these kind of hallucinations and dreams would come on, and you would start to see these peoples and images in the wood. Birds were also a big influence in Max Ernst's life. He loved them a lot and had several in his life. And something he did experience is that at the time that one of his pet birds died, his sister Lonnie was born the same night. And in his young brain, this kind of made a connection between birth and death, but also between animals and people and birds. And he actually created an alter ego for himself that was a bird named Lop Lop.
She's standing in between this dead body and Lop Lop, so maybe in a way he blames himself for his sister's death, and this other sister, he kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. Or the nightingale might not even be himself. It could just be another symbol that he's incorporated into his work. We don't know for sure.
This is the last collage that Max Ernst ever created.
Yeah, which is both sad, but I think also very fitting. It's a very beautiful collage, even with its kind of darkness and such.